your online community for positive change. Seventh Wave Network.
Welcome to Cosmic Kick with your host, Adrian Wentworth. Get ready to have your illusions broken and your consciousness expanded. Now here's Adrian to give you that Cosmic Kick.
Greetings, you sincere seekers of light and truth. This is Adrian Wentworth, and I'm here today to speak with you about a very difficult subject, the Luciferian conspiracy and God's solutions. Now, years ago, I was asked to channel a book from the ancient spiritual hierarchy, and these are original beings, God beings, and the ancient spiritual hierarchy consists of Sananda, who is the high self aspect of who we know as the soul, Jesus, Mother Mary, Archangel Michael, Ashtar, who is a beautiful being of light but is extraterrestrial in nature, and the mother-father aspects of God. Now, I've also included channeling from the Earth Mother herself because she has consciousness. For many years before this book came into being, I had been exploring and finding out about all of the dark force interferences that have been keeping us separate from God and making it difficult for us to manifest as is our birthright. And so after many years, these beings started to come to me and said, please, Adrian, would you please take our messages to help everyone understand how all of this came into being, because there is so much illusion on your planet. There has been so much programming and belief system that has held everyone in bondage. Let me summarize what I was given in this book. And some of this is going to trigger your own belief systems, and you're going to go, that can't possibly be. I've had people read my book, Divine Intervention, the story of the Luciferian conspiracy and God's solution, and they've thrown it against the wall saying, no, this can't be right. It can't be true. And I would say to them, if this is not truth, why are you having such a strong reaction? Let me begin at the beginning. When we first came into being, we came out of the source. We were birthed. Mother, Father, God, which is symbolic of the positive and negative charge that it takes to create. So Mother, Father, God comes together with energy and creates new beings. Now you're thinking, well, this is exactly how we do it too. Male, female come together and birth new. Exactly. We are just little bits of God consciousness, and we mirror how God works. At least we should. Now, as it happens, as these new beings are birthed, you have your high self, which is this little speck of individualized God's energy that stays close to the source within what I call the Godhead, within the zones of safety. And then from this high self, there is this beautiful ray of light that comes out, and at the end of the ray is your soul. Now, the soul is the little generator that keeps you fed from the source. And around the soul, you form your energy bodies. And in the beginning, you had this beautiful, beautiful spiritual energy body. since that time, we've developed also a mental energy body, an emotional energy body, and a vital force etheric energy body, which sits close to then our physical bodies. But in the beginning, we were very free, and we were told by the Godhead, go out, experience. You have free will to create, just as your mother and father in the Godhead have. You are just little bits of us, so go out and create, experience, and grow, and come back and share with us all of your experience. For the Godhead was there to receive, to create and then receive you back with all of your stories so all can learn from them. But we were given all of this power, this tremendous amount of power, but we were not given in the beginning a book of rules as to what to create, what not to create. It was just, yay, I exist, and I can create. The first thing we created was ego. And as young and naive beings, we became very competitive. We would see what someone is doing and say, oh, I really like what you can do. I want to do that too. And instead of honing our own abilities, sometimes we would just merge with that being and try to have what they have. Now, this merging happened a lot with the young souls. Now, there are some souls that never left the Godhead. These are those original, I call them original beings of light, who stayed close to the Godhead. And it was their jobs, their roles, to watch over those younger souls, almost like babysitters. But until there is a problem, there isn't any reason to keep watching. But what occurred was that as we started to merge with each other and become very competitive, we also started to stray further and further from our places within the Godhead. For we all have our own unique place where we came out of the source. And we came out of the source with a huge explosion, and many other beings came out with us. And those are what we consider our soul family, those who have come out of the source at the same time of us. Now, we all didn't emerge at the same time, obviously, so there were older souls who came first and then more souls coming behind, for the purpose of the source is to create. It just creates and creates and creates. This is the ability we need to remember, how to create with God's power, God's pure intent. But we didn't always have pure intent. It was just as young children playing, and, hey, I want your toy. I'm going to go over and I'm just going to take it. This is what happened. Or there would be one group of beings who emerged at one time, another group of beings who emerged at another time, who became very competitive, well, I'm better than you. And they started to have all kinds of competitions. What occurred is a gnarling up of our channels that made it very difficult to not only find our way back to our original places, but to be able to feel the guidance that has always been there for us from our high selves. Remember, the high self stays close to the Godhead, does not come forward and out into the realms of creation where anything can happen. one misconception that was very hard for me to understand as well is that God didn't know what we were going to do. We're taught often in different religions that God knows everything. God will always know everything. And so, let me tell you, He gave us free will. And with that free will, we got to choose. God didn't know what we choose. This was all part of creation. Go out and experience. As we started to get knotted up and lost our original places within the Godhead and had trouble finding our way back home, those in the Godhead who were supposed to be watching us were sent out to find us. Where are they? Where are the children? Why aren't they coming home? And Mother, Father, God was very worried about this. Now understand, I'm telling you all of this, and this book was channeled in a story form. So you can separate yourself from the intellectual part that wants to analyze all of this and say, this is very simplistic, Adrian. Well, it needs to be simplistic to get past all of our preconceived ideas of how we came into being. So sit back and relax and just allow me to share with you what I was told. So all of the beings in spirit who were of original God essence boarded their light vehicles, their light ships, and started to go out throughout creation and find us wherever we were tangled up, knotted up, merged together, and try to help us unwind, unknot, and help us back to where we belonged. And after this went on over and over, because as our egos grew, we became more and more arrogant, wanting more and more power, and we even began to resent those who came and said, no, tisk, you shouldn't be doing this. You stop doing this. This is not helpful to you. Now, how many of you remember being just like this? Your parents tell you, no, this is not good for you. Please don't do it. What do? We go right out and do it. There is this part within that ego that defies authority and says, I know what to do and how to do it. And any of you who have children out there have heard this so often as they start to get into a little bit of power, perhaps around the age of adolescence. You tell your child something and they say, I know. And you think, no, you don't know. You haven't had the experience. And they go, I know. And they shut you out and shut down. This is exactly what we did as young and naive beings. We started to even hide from the light vehicles because we had so much invested in doing what we wanted to do. Now, what happened is we started to merge our energies with each other and create these tremendous problems and began to lose our identities as we became so merged in with each other. And these original light beings went back to the source and said, we have to do something here. These guys are just getting out of control. They're not paying attention to what we say. They're not listening. They're hiding from us. What can we do? It was decided to give each new being, new soul that was created, a blueprint that would help them remember their original place in the Godhead, remember how to find their way back home. And this was thought, this is a great idea. Let's give everyone this blueprint, and let's create this shadow self for them so they can start to see what they are creating and mirror it against this blueprint of how we are originally intended to create with God's energy. In other words, codes were given, original codes to help us remember how we can go back to God. And I'll continue this story after this break.
Your online community for positive change. Seventh Wave Network.
Are you feeling stuck? Krista Resources has the transformational tools to help you overcome all the obstacles that are blocking you from making positive changes in your relationships, career, health, and spiritual growth. Adrian Wentworth, founder of Krista Resources, brings you the missing keys through the Krista Healing Method and Krista Energy Attunements. These spiritual tools will clear and realign your energy system, remove all influences that are holding you powerless, build permanent protection against outside negative forces, activate your gifts and abilities, and get you in touch with your soul's purpose. Krista Resources, providing support for your personal growth and spiritual journey, helping you stay strong, balanced, and empowered through the challenges of these changing times. For more information on the products and services developed by Adrian Wentworth, visit her website at www.KristaResources.com or call 719-487-8095. The website again is www.KristaResources.com, or you can call 719-487-8095. Everybody is thinking green these days, but green is not just an environmental state of mind, it's a healthier state of being. It's the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the structures we live and work in. It's not the dollars that we're spending, but how we spend those dollars. Are we consciously making informed decisions? Join host Connie McCullough as she explores healthier living by choice. Living Green, Healthier by Choice airs live on the Seventh Wave Network every Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Tune in for the challenge of a lifetime, a challenge for greener, healthier living.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine there's no mortgage. It's easy if you try. That's not just a slogan, it's a choice you have right now. In these uncertain economic times, Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises can empower you to eliminate or reduce your mortgage. Imagine how much money you'll save for your home, your family, for you. Shane Enterprises is a mortgage reduction and debt elimination company. Start imagining the possibilities today by calling Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises at 719-210-3608. That's 719-210-3608. Imagine there is no mortgage. It's easy if you try.
Awakened media for a transforming world. Seventh Wave Network.
You're listening to Cosmic Kick with Adrian Wentworth. Do you need help getting unstuck? Email Adrian your questions at KristaResources@Comcast.net. That's KristaResources@Comcast.net. Now back to Cosmic Kick with Adrian Wentworth.
Welcome back. I'm speaking to you now about the help that we were given, the blueprints, the shadow selves to stay with us and help us understand the correct way to work with God's energy with pure intent. Well, at first we became very fascinated with these shadows, and we were also given evolved mental ability to see what we were creating, so we could mirror the image that we were creating against this shadow self. And this was very interesting to us. But we also developed very strong ego. And we decided to take these reflections that we were creating and place them into these shadows and give them life. We started to create other forms with God's energy using our distorted thoughts. Now, this is very hard to understand. All negativity at its origin has come from the thoughts of men. And because there was so many of us playing in this way, we started to create as little microcosms, let's say, of the way God was doing it, or we weren't doing it with pure intent. We all know that all creation starts with our thoughts. Our thoughts, adding God's energy, creates. And we had this power, and we started to create all kinds of distorted energies until this distorted energy came to life and would start to merge with other distorted shadow pieces. And as this grew for more and more beings playing in their shadows in ways they shouldn't have, they started to create dark beings. The first being created was Lucifer. Now, this goes against everything you have read from all the ancient texts that says Lucifer was a fallen angel. Lucifer was created by the fallen angel within each one of us. You can consider Lucifer as your ego self that did not play in alignment with God's intent. We created him, and now we have a problem because Lucifer, this being that came out of our distorted creations, was connected to us. And of course, the only way he could stay vital is by taking vital energy from us, because only those that are connected to the Godhead, to the source of all, can create. And so we created distorted energies that now played on us and our very strong egos, saying, you don't need those babysitters. Why do you want to have to do what they say? Come on, we'll show you better ways to create. For our very cunning minds, from our very cunning minds, these dark beings started to draw from. And they knew our vulnerabilities because they were a part of us. And being young and naive beings, we thought this was great fun. Let's hide. Let's do things and go further and further away from the Godhead. This is very hard to absorb. But think of these simple thoughts first. We created evil by our negative thinking and distorting our own energy system. As this continued, there began to be almost a parallel energy to God's energy. In other words, a dark source of energy that mirrored the Godhead and could create dark beings, dark entities from this pool of darkness, of energy that was pulled from our distorted selves. Now, the only way, again, dark force evil energy can exist is because it is pulled from us, and we are connected to the source of all. So there began to be this parallel existence being built, and Lucifer, the mastermind, began to create out of this pool that he was collecting from each of us, and created distorted beings who totally did whatever he said and responded to his vibration. Now, what occurred after this is that just as the light vehicles, those created by God, were searching the different dimensions of creation, looking for us, Lucifer was busy mirroring those created dimensions and pulling beings towards him. Now remember, this happened with the original group of beings who came out of the source. Since then, more and more beings are being created because, again, this is what God does, is create. And more subtle ways were created to pull them to these darker dimensions. Dark ships were created. And there was created a ship that is called the Clinic. And on this dark ship, there was a master who was created by Lucifer. The name given is Zechariah, who was the master physician doctor, who, as light beings were drawn to this ship, they were studied. They were studied, and ways were found to integrate with them, to interfere with their original God codes. So now they responded to Lucifer's vibration as well as the source. And here is where the conspiracy began. For now, souls were being pulled and mesmerized by these dark ships that would come and play the same kind of frequency as the light ships did. For it was these God frequencies that would alert the souls that, oh, here comes the beings of light to help us, to bring us back to the realms of safety. And here now, there were these very strong frequencies that also pulled us into these darker realms. Now, as this occurred, and more experimentation was done to us, we began to lose consciousness. It became harder and harder to feel those beautiful God frequencies as they came close to help. We began to think that God had abandoned us, for we played where we shouldn't have, and now we thought we must be being punished, for no help was there. And yet the help was always there. We couldn't feel it. We couldn't respond to it. Now we're vulnerable, for without God's energy and a way home, we felt, how are we going to survive? And this was Lucifer's ploy, for he told us, this is how you're going to survive. You need to align with me, and I will take care of you. All you have to do is whatever I say, and you will be taken care of. And he started to create these lower realms of existence where the consciousness was so heavy and dark that once we fell to these lower realms, not only did we no longer feel and hear the light beings, but we lost consciousness and lost our ability to create and find our way home. I'll be back after this break.
Your online community for positive change. Seventh Wave Network.
Are you feeling stuck? Krista Resources has the transformational tools to help you overcome all the obstacles that are blocking you from making positive changes in your relationships, career, health, and spiritual growth. Adrienne Wentworth, founder of Krista Resources, brings you the missing keys through the Krista Healing Method and Krista Energy Attunements. These spiritual tools will clear and realign your energy system, remove all influences that are holding you powerless, build permanent protection against outside negative forces, activate your gifts and abilities, and get you in touch with your soul's purpose. Krista Resources, providing support for your personal growth and spiritual journey, helping you stay strong, balanced, and empowered through the challenges of these changing times. For more information on the products and services developed by Adrienne Wentworth, visit her website at www.KristaResources.com or call 719-487-8095. The website again is www.KristaResources.com, or you can call 719-487-8095. Enlightenment and ascension brings love and joy into your life. Now you can experience the wisdom, humor, and healing of the Ascended Masters as they are channeled through clairvoyant healer Janae Serio. Each week the Ascended Masters will focus on topics that touch and bring healing to your life, relationships, career, and serve to open your heart to be the best person you can be. Tune in to Tools for Ascension with clairvoyant Janae Serio every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the 7th Wave Network.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine there's no mortgage. It's easy if you try. That's not just a slogan, it's a choice you have right now. In these uncertain economic times, Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises can empower you to eliminate or reduce your mortgage. Imagine how much money you'll save for your home, your family, for you. Shane Enterprises is a mortgage reduction and debt elimination company. Start imagining the possibilities today by calling Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises at 719-210-3608. That's 719-210-3608. Imagine there is no mortgage. It's easy if you try.
Awakened media for a transforming world. Seventh Wave Network.
You're listening to Cosmic Kick with Adrienne Wentworth. Do you need help getting unstuck? Email Adrienne your questions at KristaResources@Comcast.net. That's KristaResources@Comcast.net. Now back to Cosmic Kick with Adrienne Wentworth.
Welcome back. It took me a long time to sit with this information and try to make sense of it according to my belief systems. And because this idea of Lucifer not being of God essence is so difficult, I'm going to repeat. He was created by the manipulation of light, taken into the shadows of beings who chose to create with distorted reflections. Now, not all of the beings played in their shadows, but many did. The more they played in the shadow, the more distorted it became, and it didn't look like their form anymore. And slowly, the new distorted essence of these light beings began to take form within their shadows. The first form being out of the manipulated shadow essence was Lucifer. So, There we go again, having to take responsibility. Now, what happened is the light vehicles began frantic, looking for those lost souls, those fallen angels, sent out over and over and over. And yet, because they were light and did not know that these darker realms had been formed and created, they didn't go into these distorted dimensions. They didn't even know they existed, for they were only within the realms of spirit, the spiritual dimensions where we were to stay and play. And then finally, it was thought and found out that there was this whole other existence going on, and some light beings had to volunteer to go into these realms of darkness and find out why the souls were not coming home again. Many were sent, and they also did not come home. For as soon as they reached these realms, they lost consciousness and began to be programmed into, this is my world now, you have now crossed the boundary, this is my playground, and this is Lucifer speaking with his strong programming. The only way you survive is by staying connected to me. And this has gone on over and over and over, where many beautiful beings of light have come and struggled to stay clear now of the many, many ways of hooking us into the dark force energies and this world of illusion that has been created. And then working so hard against all this negative energy that is pounding against them to fall asleep and to beat them down and pull them in. We have had many great beings of light on this planet who have held themselves up and have tried desperately to help us awaken. And this is because we are so loved by Spirit, so loved that each soul is unique. Each soul has its unique place in the Godhead, and with one spark missing, there is a loss that is felt. What is happening today is it has become very, very complicated with the ways we are connected to this darkness. And there is literally a parallel universe now that has been created. And this is really Lucifer's realms of existence that we are connected to, even though we still are connected to the light. What God's plan is now is to pull us out of this realm of darkness, to pull us totally back into the realms of light. And this is what many are calling the shifting into the fifth dimension, where darkness will no longer be able to exist, this pulling back. Now, what will happen to those who are totally connected and hooked into this darkness and have not opened back up to the realms of light? This is the sad part of the story, where they will be pulled into the dark realms and will not be able to cross back into the light for a protective barrier, which I'm calling the gap. a gap will be created between the lighter realms in these realms of darkness, and it will not be safe to cross over and rescue souls. This is why it is so important that every soul awakens now and starts to open up and reconnect in a real way and disconnect from all dark holds and interferences. It doesn't mean you have to be 100% clear, but you do need to be connected and released from the major dark holds that pull your energy. For what will happen once this gap is created and there is no more light to be fed off of is that darkness will feed off of whatever is left within those realms, and then it will dissipate, for there will be no power source left. This is very hard for us to believe. And yet, again, understand that it is happening. You're feeling it happen, and it's being explained in many different ways by many different sources. But the most important thing that I am here to tell you is that there will be loss unless this disconnecting from darkness exists. Now, what happened, going back to our times on the clinic, this dark spaceship, is that so many distortions were put within our energy systems, and later, after we formed physical bodies, were put within our DNA and genetics, that now it is very difficult for us to feel the help that is there for us. God's energy is intensifying and breaking up all of the holds that have been formed within all of the dimensions. All of the spiritual wars that you've heard about and you read about have all been played out. The last hold is the earth. The last war that exists between the light and the dark is within the earth. And now it's time for the rescue, for God to hold tight and bring in enough energy to pull the earth out of that hold. And all of those who are connected to her will go with. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Well, think about how much energy that will take and what that will do to the earth. The earth is ready to rebirth. All of the grids now that are needed have been put in place within the earth, so we can pull her out into the realms of safety, which means that many of the dark force holds have now been broken through, and yet it has not been completely dissipated yet. There are so many souls that are still hooked in. We have been given so much time to try to awaken, so no souls are lost when this pulling occurs. For as soon as there is chaos and trauma, we let go of our connection and fall into fear. We become so afraid we will align with anything that is there and saying, I will help you. And this is what happened in the very beginning. We became afraid. We let go. and then allowed this darkness because we felt it was all that was there for us. As the realms of spirit, God's energy finds its way into our planet and into our energy systems and starts to pull us now out of the darkness. There is literally this tug of war going on within us and within our planet. Who will win? I'll be back after these messages.
Your online community for positive change. Seventh Wave Network.
Are you feeling stuck? Krista Resources has the transformational tools to help you overcome all the obstacles that are blocking you from making positive changes in your relationships, career, health, and spiritual growth. Adrian Wentworth, founder of Krista Resources, brings you the missing keys through the Krista Healing Method and Krista Energy Attunements. These spiritual tools will clear and realign your energy system, remove all influences that are holding you powerless, build permanent protection against outside negative forces, activate your gifts and abilities, and get you in touch with your soul's purpose. Krista Resources, providing support for your personal growth and spiritual journey, helping you stay strong, balanced, and empowered through the challenges of these changing times. For more information on the products and services developed by Adrian Wentworth, visit her website at www.KristaResources.com or call 719-487-8095. The website again is www.KristaResources.com, or you can call 719-487-8095. Whether you're a baby boomer, a post-baby boomer, or a young up-and-coming, we can guide your stride. Host Cindy Spear will enlighten, educate, and entice you, our listener, to realize that you are in control of your life. No longer will the economy, media, employers, neighbors, or relatives, not even the dog, come between you and your unlimited potential. Tune in to Baby Boomers of Today. Where do we go from here? Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific on the 7th Wave Network.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine there's no mortgage. It's easy if you try. That's not just a slogan, it's a choice you have right now. In these uncertain economic times, Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises can empower you to eliminate or reduce your mortgage. Imagine how much money you'll save for your home, your family, for you. Shane Enterprises is a mortgage reduction and debt elimination company. Start imagining the possibilities today by calling Sherry Shane of Shane Enterprises at 719-210-3608. That's 719-210-3608. Imagine there is no mortgage. It's easy if you try.
Awakened media for a transforming world. Seventh Wave Network.
You're listening to Cosmic Kick with Adrian Wentworth. Do you need help getting unstuck? Email Adrian your questions at KristaResources@Comcast.net. That's KristaResources@Comcast.net. Now back to Cosmic Kick with Adrian Wentworth.
Welcome back. I'd like to share with you a few pieces of channeling that are in Divine Intervention, the story of the Luciferian conspiracy and God's solution. And this is after the story has been told, coming from the state of affairs on Earth today. And this information has come from Mother Mary. Mother Mary has always been a spokesperson for what is happening on Earth. And Mother Mary speaks, after the first big Earth release, many of your blinders will be removed. These blinders are energetic patterns that have been holding you from seeing with your physical eyes what is going on around you. When this release happens, you're going to be shocked at what you see. When you're able to see truth through your physical eyes, you will be moved to help. Most of you are going to want to run. I can't stay here. This is awful. I work for someone who doesn't even have a soul. I can't go back to the office. With your blinders removed, the light workers will also be more visible, and you can confidently seek out association with those who are strongly aligned with God's light. Many of you are busy visualizing new ways to live, and yet unless you release all of your distortions, these new ways will not manifest. I experienced these distortions when I lived on your earth plane. I know how difficult it is to work through them. You are fortunate because there are now ways and means to help you remove all of the interferences that are keeping your positive thoughts and visions from manifesting. There are scientists who have created wonderful God-given instruments that can actually transmute distorted energies. There are healers who understand. Your governments are not wanting to bring this technology forward. Your governments want to hold you in illusion because then you are easier to control. But we're electing them, you are saying. How much power do the people you elect really have? I am telling you they have very little power because these are not the beings who are truly controlling your planet. Your elected officials are mere puppet heads. They keep very busy. They form committees to create change, and yet they truly do not have the power to make decisions. Your governments are being controlled by a world organization made up of very powerful beings who have come from different environments. There will be much outbreak of war between nations. This is a situation that is not at all under control, for this world organization decides which governments to upset to get what they want. You are being played for fools. Everything is being orchestrated. Some of the earth changes that will occur will not be in alignment with our plan to assist the earth. This controlling group of beings have very powerful plans to disturb certain areas of the earth. No amount of bandage energy is going to alter their plans because these beings do not resonate to the frequency of love and light. You cannot shift them. Many of you are under the illusion that you can transform dark negative energies by sending them love and light. This does not work because these dark beings have no love and light within them. They are manipulated essences, which means they were created from God essence, taken from light beings, and changed to an energy that does not respond to love and light. These manipulated essences do not respond to God. Who do they respond to? They respond to Lucifer. They respond to Lucifer and the large group of beings that he works through and controls. This is very serious information. Resonate with my heart and know that I am speaking about these matters because I care so much for all of you. For some time now, you have been experiencing germ warfare on your planet. There are germs that have been deliberately created and directed to certain areas of the earth. Yet there is a way to free all of the vibrations that distort into illnesses. Remember that everything is vibration, everything. If you resonate to disease energy, you will attract disease energy to you. If you release your distortions and positively charge your energy, nothing can harm you. I'm not suggesting you drink water contaminated with diseases. Please do not challenge yourself in this way. I'm urging you to use every possible method known to purify and positively charge the food you eat and the water you drink. But also know that if you did drink disease-laden water, you could remove the disease vibration. Oh, wait a minute, this is not what I want. You are powerful beings. You can do this. But you have to remove your vulnerabilities. You are programmed to believe that disease is contagious. Oh, please don't sneeze on me, because if you sneeze on me, I'm going to catch your cold. Don't do it. Now you did it. Now I've got it. You have so many layers of impressions that vibrate to this belief, even though you say, yes, I'm strong. If somebody sneezes, you lose it. Many mothers know the secret of immunity. When their children are sick, they affirm, I have to take care of my children, but I'm not taking on their illness. Are you instructing your children correctly? How do you respond when they come home from school and say, Mommy, Daddy, 5 of my friends broke out in chicken pox? Do you say, oh, you're going to get chicken pox next? Or do you say with confidence, when that disease energy comes towards you, don't take it in? You have to teach them correctly. And if your child has already picked up some of the disease energy, you can draw it out of his body. You must release all of your fears and limiting belief systems. You don't have to be a victim to your environment. There is much energy work being done by well-meaning light workers who are trying to prevent these earth eruptions from happening. It is well-meaning, and yet it is not going to be effective for much longer because the plan must move forward. We are not happy about the loss of life and the pain that will occur, but yet the time has come for your Earth Mother to be released from her suffering. You think you are helping her by holding her old form in place. Mother, let me help you. I know you are in pain. Let me put this soft bandage on you. Don't explode, Mother. Don't erupt. You know how uncomfortable it is when you are incredibly sick inside and someone tells you, don't throw up, hold it in. Your mother is full of poison and is getting sicker and sicker. If she holds it in, she will become seriously damaged at her core. We will not allow that to happen. You must be willing to flow with the earth changes, develop a positive attitude. Do you like it when the earth moves? I like it. It feels powerful to me. It feels empowering, and it feels right. I'm not afraid. Next week, I'm going to speak with you about the feminine energy and her loss from power. And I'll also give you more information that has come from the earth herself. Until next week, namaste. I pray to the divinity within you. May light come into your existence and show you where you're holding darkness.
Thanks again for listening to Cosmic Kick with your host, Adrian Wentworth. Make sure you join us live every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time here on the Seventh Wave Network.